Hey guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? So, really excited for the webinar today. It seems like we've had some issues over the last couple weeks, people running into some problems on Facebook. So, today we're going to do a little troubleshooting. So, if you run into these issues in the future, you'll have a better idea of how to fix them and get things up and going again. So, a couple things that I've gotten some emails from you guys about, and some problems that I'm seeing a couple people, it seems to be pretty consistent. So people are having the same problem. So the first thing, higher ad costs. Some of you guys are complaining that all of a sudden your cost is higher than it was before and you're not really sure what's going on. You've targeted these same pages before and now all of a sudden you're paying double what you were paying before, which is really annoying, right? That's not cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about why your cost might be higher right now and a couple things you can do to help bring that cost down and maybe get creative with your targeting options. So that's going to be the first thing we talk about. Second thing, we are going to talk about what happens if, and I'm sure this has happened to you guys, it's definitely happened to me, you upload your ads to Facebook and then nothing happens. You're not getting any clicks, you're not getting any reach, no impressions, like nothing. It's just dead out there. So what happens? What do you do when that happens? So I'm going to talk a little bit. There's one trick that usually works to give your ad a boost so it gets up and going again. And there are a couple other things you can do too to help push those ads along. So I'm going to share those with you. So if you run into that problem, you'll be set. And then I'm just going to talk in general about some other issues that people seem to be having. And I don't know if it's the whole Mercury and retrograde thing that I know that that's over now, but I don't know if that was messing with things or what. But we had a lot of ad accounts that are getting disabled. I had this happen to a client of mine, and I've gotten a couple emails from other people saying that it's happening to them too. So how do you keep that from happening? And if it does happen to you, what do you do about it? And another big issue people are having is just ads not being approved for no reason at all. They've uploaded their ads. It might be an ad that you've used before, and Facebook just decides not to approve it this time. So talk about some of those things, give you some links to go to so you can get some help from Facebook if you run into any of those issues. So we'll talk about that at the end. So hopefully that sounds good to you guys. If you've got questions as we go, type them in the chat box, and I'll definitely save some time at the end for questions. All right, so let's talk about this whole ad cost thing and people seeing higher ad costs. So this could be for a couple different reasons, right? There's not just one reason why you're seeing higher ad costs. The first reason could be that your ads aren't that good. Your offer isn't good. People aren't responding to your offer. Your targeting's off. There could just be a problem with your ad. But if you've tried these ads before, you've ran ads before and you've had success, so you know that your targeting's right, you know you've got a good offer, but just something isn't working. What's the problem? So think about a couple different things. First, you want to think about your industry and your niche. Is it a busy time for your industry, or a lot of other people advertising? So I've got a retail background, and I know that obviously the holidays, things always get crazy at the holidays. Ad cost is always a lot higher. You just know you're going to pay more at the holidays. But in retail, there was always a spike too in the spring and then in the fall, because that's when you would get a lot of your inventory in, is at the change of the season. So you got all your cute spring clothes and your cute fall boots. So you usually put a lot of money, your advertising dollars, to promote around that time. So it's not uncommon for people in retail to see a higher cost in the spring and then again in the fall. So think about your industry. Is there a lot going on? Is it a big time? Or a lot of people running promotions? It might just be a temporary thing. So if for a couple weeks your ad cost is a little bit higher, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Now, if it spikes and it's a lot higher, there might be another issue there. So another issue that you might be running into, just because you've targeted one group in the past and it worked really well, doesn't mean that same group is going to work for you in 6 months. So you've constantly got to test and tweak these things. And it might be that you're targeting pages that a lot of other people are targeting too. So now those fans of those pages are just saturated. You've got a lot of competition. You've got a lot of people competing for that ad space. So remember this about Facebook, and when it comes to advertising, there's only so much space for ads on Facebook. So if your ads don't cut it, if your ads aren't performing, your ads aren't going to get into the newsfeed. So if you're competing with a lot of other people and your ads aren't performing, that's going to drive up your costs too. So it might be a matter of tweaking your target and figuring out another group to target. And you might have to get creative here. And I'm really just talking to you guys that are getting started. So I'm not getting into custom audiences or lookalike audiences or anything like that. We're really just going to focus on interest. So an example for my business, I have had an ad running since July. So it's been running for almost a year now. I think it was July or August, around that time. Targeting Marie Forleo, Female Entrepreneur Association, Social Media Examiner, Amy Porterfield, Mari Smith. All big names, all big pages, right? So you would expect my cost to be a little bit higher because everybody knows them. Everybody's going to target those same pages. But that's not the case. I get about 60 cents an email or 60 cents a conversion for that ad, and it's been consistent and it works really well. And I've used that same targeting group for other ads and they've worked really well. So you always want to test this out. But sometimes when you do just target these pages like Tony Robbins and Marie Forleo and Female Entrepreneur Association and Jack Canfield, you're going to have more competition. So you've got to have a really strong ad to stand out in that group. So if you are targeting those bigger names, you know, the names that everybody seems to know, kind of the go-to people, it might just be that you've got more competition. So one of my favorite ways to kind of navigate around this problem is to use Audience Insights. So I'm going to pop over, share my screen. We're going to walk through Audience Insights and how you can use this to come up with different targeting options that might work better for your business. So I'm going to go ahead, share my screen. Let me know that you guys can see this. All right. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me know if you have any problems seeing it. So Audience Insights, we've talked about this before. I always recommend going into Audience Insights and playing around a little bit, especially if you're getting started, you're not really sure who to target, but it's also a great place to kind of brainstorm new ideas and figure out new pages to target. So to get to Audience Insights, you're just going to go to your ads manager, and it's going to be on the left-hand side within Ads Manager. It'll say Audience Insights, and you'll just click on that. And this is the screen that pops up for us. So we're going to select everyone on Facebook. Let's just do a quick tour just in case you guys haven't been in here. I'm just going to walk you through it really, really fast. So it's going to default to the US because I'm in the States. So US is here. You can adjust your age if you want. So if you want to target people, you know, 30 to 55, whatever it is, you can adjust your age, male, female. And of course, we're going to come back to our interests. But here's the cool thing about this. It's got a ton of information in here. So it's a great place to learn a little bit about your audience before you even start running your ads. So you can see a breakdown of male, female. They've got relationship status, education level. They've got a bunch of job titles down here. So if you're trying to figure out, you know, what types of job titles people have in a certain field or whatever, you can come down here and play around with that. Location. So it'll tell you exactly where people are. Activity. So this is a good one to look at. It just lets you know how active they are on Facebook. So do they like a lot of posts? Do they share a lot of posts? Do they click on ads? So it's just a good way to figure out how active people are on Facebook. And then of course, you've got a breakdown of their household. So if you want to figure out income, their household size, how much their home is worth. I mean, you could get crazy in here. Their spending, how they spend. Are they using a debit card? Are they using cash, credit card? Crazy, right? Like tons of stuff. So we're going to pay attention to page likes. So there's a couple things you want to look out for when you are in Audience Insights. So this first page is just going to pull up everyone that's 26 and over in the US. These are the top pages that people like, which is interesting. Usually Walmart's at the top of that list. So I'm going to start typing in an interest. So let's go with Social Media Examiner because that's the page that I target with my ads. So Once I type that in, you'll see that this starts to change, right? So it pulls other pages that people who like Social Media Examiner, they also like these pages. So some of these, I'm not surprised to see here. Amy Porterfield, Mari Smith, Social Media Examiner's on there. John Loomer, these are all, pretty typical pages that I would expect to see. And then if you come down here, these are other pages. So it breaks it down by category. So you can see, based on consulting business services, these are the top pages. If they're an organization, entrepreneur, all that good stuff. And then down here, it's going to list all the pages. It's going to give you a relevance score. This is just a number that Facebook assigns. And then you can see like their audience size and all that good stuff. So you can come through here, just kind of scroll through. And now you'll know right off the bat if some of these pages, like you'll just know that's not a good fit or this might be a good fit, but it might pull in some suggestions that maybe you hadn't thought of. So I've never really thought of targeting HubSpot or Hootsuite or even Moz. And these are, this is all software, Hootsuite, everybody knows what Hootsuite is. You use it to manage your social media accounts. HubSpot's an online marketing software. So this might be an interesting targeting group for me to try. So what I could do, I could create a targeting group focused at HubSpot, Hootsuite, and Moz, and just target anyone that's a Facebook page admin. So at least that way, I'm narrowing that group down to people that run a Facebook page. Because if they run a Facebook page, they might be running ads too. So that would make that targeting group a little bit more effective for me. So just because HubSpot's an online marketing software, a lot of my clients or potential clients and customers might be using that software, even though it's not necessarily related to Facebook advertising, but it's a resource that my tribe might be using. So you can use this to come up with different pages to target. Another one that I know is really popular is Success Magazine. I think it was down here. Yep, so you see Success Magazine. So this is another page that people target a lot. But if you can find another magazine that's got a big fan base that's similar to Success Magazine, but it's more targeted towards your audience, that would probably be a better targeting option than just targeting Success Magazine because everyone else is targeting that. So you'll notice, so let's go ahead and type in HubSpot here. You'll see, so it changes again. So it pulls up some other things. So like I'm probably not going to target Microsoft or Shopify, but it might pull up some other options that could be worth testing out. And it's all a test. So don't be scared to test things out and see what works. Now, something that happens, I know I'm going to get this question. I get this question a lot. There's always going to be a couple pages that you just cannot target. Doesn't matter what you type in, what you try. Like I know Melanie Duncan's page is one. There are tons of others, but if you've tried to target a page and you're in Ads Manager or Power Editor and it just doesn't pull that page and you can't find it, it's just a Facebook thing. So basically what Facebook says is that they haven't populated the whole list of pages on Facebook because there's so many pages and so many people are creating pages that, they try to keep up with them and they try to add to the list, but it doesn't always work. So it's always worth typing it in and trying and seeing if that page has been added. Sometimes they pop up and you can use them, and then other times you're just kind of out of luck. So, if I type in Melanie Duncan here, nothing comes up. You can try though, just make sure that, you're spelling things right. You can go to their page, see if maybe they've called their page something else or they've spelled anything different. And if it still doesn't work, you just might have to wait and see if they add them eventually. But there's always going to be a couple pages you're just not able to target. That's just part of it. But I definitely suggest coming in here and playing around, brainstorm some ideas for different targeting options. You might be able to get your costs down that way. So if you're targeting other pages that maybe people in your industry haven't thought about, they're not being bombarded with ads, it could be a really effective group for you. So get creative and see what you can do. And you can always do a combination of targeting interest, and then you can narrow down by job title, location, lots of different options in there. So don't be scared to play around with that. It's actually a lot of fun to kind of come in here and see all the different pages that people like. And you could scroll for days down this list, right? So that's one tip for getting your costs down. But do just keep in mind that, it might just be a temporary thing that cost is up a little bit and it might come down. So if you're just seeing a slight increase, it may not be time to panic just yet. But if you're seeing your costs double, then it might be time to switch some things up. So now I'm going to pop over to Power Editor. Let me know if you guys can see this okay. All right, so in Power Editor, so recently I was promoting a webinar. If you guys remember, I did it was a webinar on launching, and I uploaded some ads. This was probably back in May, and they just weren't working. I uploaded them and nothing was happening. No one was seeing them. No one was clicking anything. It's just like, I don't know what happened. They were just sitting there, right? So I'm like, hello, Facebook, what is going on? So I tried a couple different things. I messed with the targeting a little bit, thinking maybe just I'm way off on this ad. Maybe it's just not working at all. Still nothing. I tested out a couple different things, nothing. So what I decided to do, I came into Power Editor because I set up all my ads in Power Editor. I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this the old school way. And normally I would tell you, you always want to optimize when you're setting your bidding. You're going to optimize for conversions or optimize for clicks, whatever action you're going after. Usually Facebook, if you just optimize for it, Facebook's going to take care of it and you're going to get the best price, the best cost, all of that good stuff. But if your ads aren't being seen, it's not doing anything for you. So what you can do, here I am in Power Editor. This was one of the ad sets that I had running. So if you just click on the ad set, and then come all the way down to the bottom where you select your bidding. So this is a website conversion ad because I was promoting a webinar. So I was trying to get people signed up for a webinar. So I'm going to leave that there. Normally, I would have it set at get the most website conversions at the best price because that's Facebook doing all the work for me. They're going to show my ad to the people that are most likely to convert, which is a lot easier than me trying to figure it out. And I'd say 90% of the time this works. But if you've uploaded your ads and nothing's happening, you might need to give those ads a little bit of a push. So here's what happened. I clicked on set the amount a conversion is worth to you. So this is the old school bidding where you're setting, this is how much I'm willing to spend for a conversion. Now, you can bid high and you can get aggressive here. It's just like when we were talking about Pinterest ads the other week, because it's all manual bidding. It's the same thing. So just because I say I'm willing to spend $30 a conversion, I'm never going to pay $30 a conversion. That's insane to get an email on my list. But when you put in those higher numbers, it helps to, it's basically telling Facebook like, hey, I mean business. I'm willing to pay for this. You need to put my ad out into the newsfeed. That's the easiest way to explain it. So what I did is I came in here and I set it to $30. I just picked a number. I just said, I'm going to go for $30 and just see what happens. And so once I uploaded this ad back to Facebook, I started to see the numbers. My reach was going up, clicks were going up, and then I started to get conversion. So it gave that ad the extra boost that it needed to get going. So I don't know if it was just something funky going on with Facebook that day, but it's something that happens. So if you've ever done that, you've uploaded your ads and you've tested your targeting, you've tweaked your targeting, you feel like it should be doing something, right? You should at least be getting some reach there. And you're not, come into Power Editor and give this a shot and see if that kind of kicks your ads into high gear. It usually will solve the problem, not always. If this doesn't solve your problem, it might just be a matter of starting that ad over. So you could just duplicate that ad, recreate it, and upload that to Facebook. I've had to do that before too. Like, for whatever reason, Facebook just was not cooperating that day. And it's basically like rebooting your browser, right? Or rebooting your computer. So I would just go in and completely duplicate the campaign or the ad set and then upload that. And that would work too. So you might have to try a couple things, but this would be my go-to first is setting the amount that a conversion's worth to you and then see what happens. Again, you're not going to end up paying that much. So you could put $30, $50 in here, and that doesn't mean you're actually going to pay that. And you've also set your daily budget, right? So if you set it at $5 a day, $20 a day, $100 a day, you're still, that's all you're going to spend that day. So you don't have to worry about your budget getting crazy and waking up to a $500 Facebook ad bill or anything like that. So give that a shot the next time you feel like your ads, something funky is going on and they're just not working the way that you want. So I hope that that helps. Let's see. Just seeing if we've got any questions. Will this work with engagement? So if you are you talking about like you're boosting a post, you're just trying to get some engagement to a post and it's not working? Then yeah, definitely give this a shot and see if that works. It works for just about any type of ad. It's just helping it get out into the newsfeed a little bit faster. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a couple questions about the 60 cents per email conversion. I'll talk about that at the end. I'll walk through that too. All right, so so the next thing, if you guys are having any issues with your ad accounts, not approving your ads. So this is something that happened a lot the last couple weeks. It happened to clients and I got emails about it. You've had an ad that you've been running and maybe you go in, you make a change, you tweak something, and then all of a sudden Facebook says that your ad's not approved. When it's an ad you've been running, you're not doing anything wrong, you know, you're sticking to the text limit, you're not promoting anything scandalous or anything like that. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if Facebook changed the way that they set their ads or they approve ads. It's a little bit of a mystery how they actually approve and the process that our ads go through. So it might just be that they were tweaking some things, making some changes. If you have a problem with your ads, this is the best place to go. And I will drop this into the chat box for you guys. Let's see. This is the link right here. So if you go to this page, I know it's annoying, but they actually they respond pretty fast within 24 hours. So if your ads aren't getting approved, I had a client that we set up an ad on Friday and it still wasn't approved by Monday. So then we had to start, reaching out to Facebook because we've been waiting all week for this ad to get approved. So they should be approved within 24 hours. And if it's much past that, then you can definitely reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on with this? Same thing, if you feel like an ad should have been approved and it wasn't, they'll send you an email. You can reply to that email. They usually get back to you. I have had to go, I had one person that just would not approve an ad. They said that our business model wasn't supported, which made no sense at all. It was for one of my clients that's a life coach. So again, not doing anything weird or scandalous or anything. So we had to submit a couple of these reports to get that ad approved. And again, it was an ad we'd been running. So if you run into that, this is the best way to get a hold of Facebook. Or you can just reply to the emails that they send you, but they usually respond within 24 hours. And if you don't get the answer that you want and you feel like you're in the right, you're not doing anything wrong, just keep it up because eventually you'll get the right person. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting to the right person, and then they'll be able to help you out and approve your ad. So we were eventually able to get our ads approved. They apologized, said, sorry, that shouldn't have been an issue. So, sometimes we're at the mercy of Facebook, which is kind of annoying, but usually they're pretty fast to respond. Now, if you're one of the people that you've had your ad account, one quick thing though about getting your ads, if you want to get your ads up and going, the fastest way, if you submit your ads on business days, so like 8 to 8 p.m., 8 in the morning till 8 at night, that's usually your best shot to get them approved the quickest. If you upload them like on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday, sometimes that's when you run into, it takes longer than 24 hours for them to get approved. So just keep that in mind. If you need to get an ad approved fast, upload it during regular, business hours. Facebook, I think they operate on West Coast time. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Just a quick note there. So one last thing, if you're one of the poor people that had your ad account disabled, I've got a whole blog post up here. I'm going to share this link with you guys too, where you can go and check this out. So a couple different things. This seems to be happening a lot to people with brand new accounts. So it happened to a client, and everyone that I've talked to, they're all brand new to Facebook ads. They're just getting started, and Facebook just shuts them down. And I used to think if you got shut down, you were doing something shady or something you shouldn't be doing, but that's just not the case at all. So I don't know if Facebook is going to fix this, but if this happens to you, it's everything you need is in this article, but a couple things just to keep in mind. You want to make sure when you set up your ad account that you're not using PayPal as your payment source. If you are using PayPal, it seems like those accounts get shut down more than if you're just using a regular credit card or debit card. So I would just use a credit card instead of PayPal. Something else that can happen if your payment details don't match. This is what happened to my client. She just typed in her zip code wrong and they shut down her whole account, and we haven't been able to get it back up and going, which is really annoying. So make sure that all of your details match, your zip code, your expiration date, all of that stuff. Just do a quick double check to make sure it's all in order. Something that simple can can flag your ad account. And of course, you definitely don't want to use any scraping software. I don't think this is an issue for most of you guys, but I got to say it, I got to throw that out there. But what happens is on this blog post, I've got a link to a form you can fill out. It takes a couple days, like 10 days for Facebook to get back to you. If that doesn't work, there is a phone number in this blog post that you can call. It's this number right here. And you might have to call a couple times. You might have to, get a couple different people on the phone. But if you can get to the right person and you're really, really nice, they might be able to help you out. So that's really your best bet as far as getting your ad account turned back on. So just be really careful. Again, it really seems to be an issue with payment and PayPal and making sure your zip code and everything's right. So just a heads up if this happens to you guys or if you know anyone that it's happened to. There's a blog post that'll walk you through getting everything up and going again. Okay. All right, so looks like we've got some questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real fast. All right, so Claire, to get to Power Editor, you will just go to, when you log into your Ads Manager, on the left-hand side, it'll say campaigns, billing. On that list, it'll say Power Editor. Make sure that you're using Google Chrome. You can't access it if you're using Firefox or Safari or anything else. So just make sure that you're in Google Chrome and you should be able to pull it up. All right. Okay, Brittany, so Facebook hasn't been showing your ads to anyone lately. So if they were working before and now you've noticed that they aren't working, you might just want to test that out and go in and do the manual bidding instead of the optimized bidding. It might help to get your ads out there. It also might be that you might need to switch up your targeting. So give it a shot and see if that works. All right. Okay, so now my 60-cent conversion. So this ad, I know I've shared this ad with you guys before. It's just my 5 Facebook ad templates. It's my best performing ad that I run, and it's really simple. It's nothing crazy complicated, and I just go straight to a really simple landing page. And that's the ad that I'm targeting: Social Media Examiner, Mari Smith, Marie Forleo, female entrepreneur, those pages that I listed earlier. Just really simple, just targeting those pages. It says, grab our 5 Facebook ad templates here, go straight to the landing page, really simple. And that one's been converting the best. So, when I run ads for my webinar, the cost is definitely higher than 60 cents. And so it really depends. But that one, for whatever reason, is always converted really well. I think it's just a really strong offer. People really like those templates. It's easy. It's 5 of them. It's nothing overwhelming. It's nothing too crazy. And the landing page is simple. So the opt-in page converts really well. And yeah, that ad has just always worked, and it hasn't slowed down. So I keep it running. It doesn't always happen like that. It's great when you can get an ad working that way, but it doesn't always happen that way. So sometimes, you end up paying a little bit more, but sometimes you get it right and it just works perfect. So yeah, so that one's been running for a while, 60 cents. And I know I've got it in a couple other webinars. So if you pop over to my YouTube channel, I've got a whole webinar just on opt-ins, and I think I really go into that ad, the breakdown of that ad and why it works and what works about it. I'm with you on the love-hate relationship with Power Editor, Patrina. I am. I get it. I get annoyed with Power Editor too. All right, so looks like we were out of time. Let's see. That, and you're optimizing for conversions. For that ad, you are still optimizing for conversions. I was just switching it out and saying that I'm willing to pay this much for my ads instead of having Facebook optimize it for me. So absolutely, I was still optimizing for conversions. I hope I'm answering the right question there. All right, guys, that is it for this week. So we'll be back next week. If you've got questions, if you're running into any issues this week as you go through and you're setting up your ads, just drop me an email, hello@sociallabmarketing.com, and I might cover it on next week's webinar. So I hope you guys all have an awesome week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.